The shop owner where I am located brought this in, and he told me, I need a furniture artist. I didn't know what he meant until I saw it. I didn't know what to make of it. It had a rust patina on it. All I know is it looked terrible, and I don't think the video or picture does it justice. So I didn't know what else to do but to start painting it. I grabbed Bead Board. I want you to see what great coverage Bead Board has. I didn't know if it was going to have bleed through. I had no idea. All I knew is I wanted to get painting and see what it would do. This is a very, very ornate piece. It took me 2 hours to do just the one coat. I didn't cover everything because I did want some of that original finish to come through, but I tried to get as much as possible. This guy walks in and he's like, do you guys buy furniture? And I'm thinking, do we buy furniture? Well, yes, we sell furniture. Yes, we buy furniture. And it's so funny how many people ask that question. Someone called me up, actually the hutch that's outside, they called me up and asked me, do you buy furniture? Yeah, I sure do. I buy furniture. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start with Prairie Grey. And see how thick DIY paint is? This is gonna go a long way because you can water down DIY paint 10-to-1 and still retain all of the pigment. And I'm just gonna use chip brushes because I want to really just get it in there. And so I'm going to apply just a little bit on my brush. I'm gonna wet my brush, I'm gonna wet the piece, and we're gonna keep wetting. And then I have some blue shop towels, maybe no rhyme or reason. And you could, in advance, take a whole bunch of cups and put the paint in it and water it down. And sometimes I do that. And then he's like, I recently lived in a 10,000 square foot house. I was like, 10,000 square foot house? And so the owner went over there and he picked this up. He sent me a picture of it and I was like, ooh, that's interesting. When I saw it in person, I was like, what is that? What did they do? What did they do to this? It almost looked like they added cinnamon, because you can add cinnamon to like your paint or to wax and it'll make it look like it's rust. It was very orange. So we're gonna add lots of layers, and what the blue shop towel is for removing what I don't want on here and removing the excess water, because I don't want the water to puddle on here. And I'm just gonna pat it. So Sandy Blonde, I'm just gonna put a little bit on a new brush to show you. It looks like sand. It really looks like sand. So I'm gonna take a little bit, I'm gonna wet my brush and wet this, and I'm going to go ahead. I wanna make sure you can see. I'm gonna add the water, and I'm not gonna put all of the colors everywhere. I'm just going to put them in specific places. So I'm gonna move this carefully. Okay. And then I'm gonna use this rag. And these rags are great. You can get them at Lowe's. They're great because they're lint-free, and this particular rag does not have any texture. So if you're looking for a paper towel to use that doesn't have texture, you can use it. If you use one that has texture, that could actually add to your look. Apothecary, I'm gonna use another brush. Apothecary is a color that you probably have seen if you've watched any of the DIY paint retailers. It is a great farmhouse color. It is like it's a greenish color, and it works really great with a lot of different colors. I didn't want this to have a lot of color, but I thought a little bit, just a few accents, a few touches here and there. So you see a little bit of the hints of the greens, but like I said, I do not want this to be green. And anywhere where it's like puddling, I'm gonna take it off. I just want a little bit of it. And listen, with chip brushes, you're gonna have flyaway hair everywhere. This is Faded Burlap, so you can see how much lighter it is from the Prairie Grey. And see how great, like, the chip brush for this project is really, really great because I can really work it in there. I thought I would go neutral, old world kind of look, or my second option was to go black with white wax, which would have looked like amazing. You can do color washing another way. You could seal in your first layer, and then when you add your wash, when you remove it, you are removing what you don't want, and so you'll see your coat underneath a lot clearer, a lot crisper, a lot cleaner. But I didn't want that, and so that's why I didn't seal it. When you're working on a piece this close up and you're seeing all of the details, you really have to stop and step back, because most people are not going to look at your project that close up. They're going to look at it from a distance. And so here is the up close and personal look. You could see all of the colors. I put a little bit of French Millnery and the Apothecary and the Prairie Grey and the Faded Burlap, and you can really see them all coming to life. But be sure to step back. They did a coffee stain. Now, I don't know the process that they went through to do that, but he told them that they did a coffee stain on the whole thing. I think they did multiple processes. This is rock hard, and it was really crusty and very textured, and so I tried hand sanding it at the store, and I was like, I've got to take this home, because I was painting it at the store. I've got to take it home because I've got to get my orbital sander. After trying to sand it down with the orbital sander and realizing that I wasn't really getting very far, I decided that it was time to do the stripper. This is a stripper that I use, and I applied it with a chip brush all over the top. Now, I recommend that this is done before you paint. I had to be really careful not to drip any on the sides. I couldn't believe what happened after I let the stripper sit for about 15 to 20 minutes. It looked so gross. I don't know what they put on this table to give it that finish, but whatever it was, it's disgusting. My daughter was like, it looks like skin that's peeling. But guess what? It wasn't enough. I couldn't get all of it off, so I had to go back and strip it again. I put another good coat with the chip brush. Make sure you use gloves. This stuff is really heavy duty. I mean, it strips all kinds of varnish, so you want to make sure that you're protected, and you do it outside. Before you paint or stain, you want to take mineral spirits and put it all over your piece, and then get a steel wool and scrub it away. And you really want to take your time and do it, and maybe even pour some extra mineral spirits and wipe it off with a lint-free rag, because you really want to make sure that you remove that heavy-duty chemical, because you want to have your paint to stick on there.
I don't know what that is there. See that?
After stripping and after cleaning it with the mineral spirits, you're going to want to pull out your orbital sander and go over it with a medium grit and then a fine grit to ensure that you're going to have a smooth wood. To seal this piece, I used DIY clear wax, and I did use a chip brush just to make sure that I can get in all the places. Normally I don't do that. I use a proper wax brush, and then I went over it in certain parts just to highlight it with white wax. Well, here she is. I ended up having to paint the top because I could not stain it for those orange pieces that were coming through the wood. I don't know what that was. So I painted it with black velvet, and then I clear waxed it, and then I white waxed it just to tone it down a little bit, not have so much contrast, and I really love the way that it turned out. You can purchase the products on this video on my website, lisaboondesigns.com. Don't forget to comment and let me know what you think about this video and this project. Also, please like and subscribe. Thank you for watching. Have a blessed day.